Surprise, surprise, Spider-Man was announced for the PC, and Spider-Man Miles Morales, by the way. They're both coming to PC. It wasn't made clear in the initial trailer, but it has been confirmed that both games are coming to PC soon. August 12th, I believe, which is the day before I get married, actually. So thanks for the wedding gift, Sony. The one and only Sony exclusive I cared about is finally coming to PC, and it's going to be just in time for me to have a new graphics card. Look at that. Things are looking up for Joe. I graduated college, I'm getting married, and now Spider-Man's coming to PC. Isn't that beautiful? The usual suspects were upset about this. Again, I really don't know why. I don't know why. I don't understand why you didn't see this coming. I don't understand why it still upsets you. I don't know why Sony can be porting so many of their games to PC and then you still get upset when they do another one. I guess Spider-Man was special. Like, oh, you can have God of War and you can have Uncharted, but Spider-Man, this one's special. Which is extra ironic because out of all of the PlayStation exclusives, Spider-Man is the most blatantly, held hostage one. Like, Sony didn't make this character. It's not Sony's character even a little bit. But this is the exclusive game that the Sony faithful holds in the highest esteem and, is the most protective of. Am I the only one who finds a little bit of irony in that? You guys hold Sony's creativity and amazing IPs up in such high esteem, but the one that upsets you the most that other people get to play is the one that they didn't even have a hand in creating. Really? But anyways, I've never actually had this much ammo to go off of. In the last 12 hours, I've had a few videos sent to me. I've had a few forum posts sent to me of people wanting me to respond to this. But I'm gonna start here at the PlayStation blog. Let's start right at the source. There was a really long blog post detailing the game, detailing the announcement. Everyone involved with the actual project seems really excited that this is happening. But good lord, look at the number of comments to likes. I don't know what the ratio rules are on a blog as opposed to, Twitter, but this is the closest thing to a ratio I've ever seen on the PlayStation blog. This is it. The day I'm leaving gaming has come. Sony, you just made PS5 most useless PlayStation. Nice. No exclusives. GG. Time to cancel PS Plus. Yes, the PS5 is the most useless PlayStation because a PS4 game is coming to the PC. You realize Spider-Man came out on the PS4 and Miles Morales was a multi-plat, but the PS5 is useless because they're going to PC. Got it. I don't know why people keep saying more people get to play. There is nothing stopping them from buying a PlayStation to play like we did. So that is flawed logic. Okay, first of all, I know people are physically capable of buying PlayStations to play this game, but the problem was that we didn't want to do that. You have a PlayStation, so you could buy the game and play it. If I didn't have a PlayStation, I would have to drop the hundreds of dollars to get a PlayStation on top of the $60 to get the game. And that's a much harder sell. Now that the game is coming to the platform that I actively play on, I can play it. Sony did not sell me on their console, so I didn't buy it. And because I'm smart with my money, I'm not buying a PlayStation just to play one game, especially when that game kind of runs like ass by the standards of the platform that I play on. There's nothing flawed about this logic. I don't like Sony's platform, but now they're putting a game onto the platform that I do like. So yes, I do get to play it now. This fucking Nemicon person just kept responding to other people's comments. Let me just go through these. Me and many other PlayStation gamers will be moving to PC. A lot of people moved to PC during the PS3 generation and never came back, so it does hurt the console. If you're moving to PC, why does this bother you even a little bit? Also, people went to PC during the PS3 generation and never came back, so it does hurt the console. You realize the PS4 sold better than the PS3, right? PC ports do devalue the console, and so many people who have a PlayStation and PC are going to play on PC only. It's been a problem because that time and money spent on PC ports could go to PlayStation games. You must be blind because Sony has not made the PS5 worth owning. So people who have a PlayStation and PC are going to play on PC, but the money spent on PC ports could go to PlayStation games, even though by your own admission, they're not going to play them on PlayStation. You are really bad at this. PC is not a different audience. Yes, it fucking is. All the top streamers game on PC and have a PlayStation console, as does many non-streamers. One benefits from PC ports except PC customers. Sony benefits from PC ports because they get more money from game sales, but I don't see anybody being happy about that. which is weird because I thought your whole thing was Sony being successful is what gives you life. But also, what is this PC is not a different audience? Yes, it is. The console audience and the PC audience are very different from one another. I don't know, like, I don't know how to say it other than that. I have a million other videos explaining this. But what is this? All the top streamers game on PlayStation and PC? Who gives a shit about the top streamers? How many top streamers are there in the world versus how many gamers? I don't give a shit. Also, the PlayStation installed user base is not nearly as big as the PC's installed user base, so you're just wrong here. But the last thing they say is really telling. This crap about just be happy more people can enjoy the stuff that you like makes no sense when they can buy a PlayStation console to play them and the PC ports sell poorly right now. That's just quiet part out loud. This crap about be happy more people can enjoy the stuff you like makes no sense if they didn't buy a PlayStation. Because that's really what matters to you. The fact that you enjoyed the thing is not what matters to you. The fact that more people can now enjoy the thing that you enjoyed is not what matters to you. What matters is that those people didn't buy a PlayStation, so they shouldn't get to enjoy the thing that you enjoyed. You're an asshat. You don't want us to be jerks, but they're going to pirate it. Why should I continue giving you my money for full price? Answer this, PlayStation. I love this idea that PC players are just going to pirate everything, which is weird because PlayStation themselves have been pretty openly happy about the sales of their games on the platform. I know ponies like to dismiss the number of copies sold for games like Horizon and God of War. It's funny that they never talk about how many Death Stranding copies have been sold on PC, because Death Stranding did fantastic on PC. Like, you have the PC community to thank for basically reviving the Death Stranding community. But the reason why these games don't sell as much on PC is because the PC is a bigger platform with more people and more games. The PlayStation ecosystem is a closed market. You all get hyped about the next big game on PlayStation because you really don't have that many games on PlayStation. We do on PC. There's a lot more of us. There's a lot more games to play. And yes, once these games have been out for a while, people aren't going to rush out to buy them as much as they are on day one on PlayStation. Now put them day one on PC, that'll be a different story. I've said that a million times. Let the PC community be part of the initial hype train and you're going to see those sales explode. But also, I love this idea that PlayStation games aren't selling well on PC because you guys are just so fucking jaded to this. 1 million copies sold on one platform is extremely impressive no matter what game it is. You know how many developers would kill to sell 1 million copies on one platform for a multi-plat game? You know how much money that is? If a game is selling for $40, 1 million copies is $40 million. Obviously before like taxes and revenue cuts, but like, do you see what I'm saying here? Sony's games have been very successful on PC. Just because they're not selling as many copies as the initial PlayStation closed market hype, that doesn't mean they're unsuccessful, and it doesn't mean these games are being rampantly pirated. There's just no evidence for that. You are devaluing your exclusives all in the name of making a quick buck. Miles Morales hasn't been out 2 years and it's supposed to be built from the ground up for the PS5. That's weird because it came out on the PS4 as well. So you lied about taking advantage of the PS5. All these cross-gen games are going to PC. Very disappointing. They didn't lie about taking advantage of the PS5. Does Miles Morales play better on PS5 than it does on PS4? Yes, great. They didn't lie about taking advantage of the PS5. They never said this game was going to be a permanent exclusive. They never said anything like that. And even if they did, they don't owe you anything. This company doesn't care about you. No company cares about you. That's not their job. It's not their job to care about you. It's their job to make products that make them money. And now Sony is realizing there's a lot of money to be made in the PC world. That's nobody's fault. Like, nobody's taking advantage of anything. Just fucking get over it. The game literally hasn't changed. It's just more people get to play it now, and that upsets you for some reason. God of War sold less than 1 million on PC, the game that absolutely defined last generation. They all whine, why is it $50 on PC when it is now 10 to 20 on PlayStation? They pirated instead. PlayStation destroying the brand. Okay, let's just take this piece by piece. God of War sold really well on PC. Like, again, just because it didn't sell as many as it did on PlayStation doesn't mean it didn't make a hefty profit for Sony. You have to have some perspective on these things. Obviously, porting a game doesn't take as much time or money as developing a game from the ground up for the PlayStation. So the profit margin for the PC port is going to be different. And again, you're also implying that, oh, it sold, what, 900,000 copies instead of 1 million? It probably has passed 1 million by now. Future Joe from the editing booth here. As of February 10th, this game had reportedly sold 2 million copies on Steam. So I have no idea where you're getting the less than 1 million from. But even then, 900,000 copies for a game that's 4 years old? And the second part, they all whined, why is it $50 on PC? Yeah, that was a perfectly worthy criticism. That's one of the main reasons I haven't bought it yet. I'm probably going to buy God of War and give it a try once the price drops, but yeah, I'm not paying $50 for a 4-year-old game. Why would I do that? I'm not gonna pirate it, because that's just not my groove. Believe it or not, people who don't want to pay $50 for a 4-year-old game aren't inherently pirates. This day marks the end of PlayStation Useless Station 5. I think I already read a comment from you. This guy was having a field day. Brick SK really needs to fucking get a hobby. Congrats on the 33 million. I will say, as a console player, if PlayStation Studios games go day and date to PC, I will stop buying consoles. The PlayStation console gamer should always come first. Why? Genuinely, why? The PC has more players. The PC is a bigger market. And even if it wasn't, why should PlayStation gamers come first? It's not their character. Sony ponies will always say stuff like this. They'll always say, console gamers should come first. PlayStation gamers should come first. This game needs to stay exclusive. But I'm yet to hear a single compelling argument as to why. Other than just, that's how you want it. I don't care. That's not a reason. So many games going to PC, yet the ones that would benefit the most, Dreams and Destruction All-Stars, have no PC ports in sight. Why the fuck would Dreams come to PC? This is a point that Yahtzee Croshaw made in his zero punctuation review. Why would a game maker game get ported to PC? Which is where everyone makes games with different software anyways. Dreams is basically just like a console-friendly game maker software, but we already have a whole bunch of those over here. Why would Dreams be on the top of the porting list? I'm not saying don't port Dreams. I'm just saying it's a weird choice for, like, you say that's the one that would benefit the most? Why though? And then Destruction All-Stars, I quite honestly don't know anything about that game. I forgot it came out. So, no thank you. Ooh, Nemicon's back. I will be selling my PS5 and moving to PC. Still no God of War release date, not PS5 only games, uninteresting third-party games, and no new IPs or sequels to games we have been asking for several years. PlayStation as a console is dead, and it is time to move on. Good job, Jim Ryan and Herman. I mean, there's plenty of things that are just wrong about this. You're right, there's no God of War release date. I don't know why that's a negative thing. Not PS5 only games. Okay, God forbid you play multi-platform games. Also, this uninteresting third parties and no new IPs. What was that horror thing that was shown off at State of Play that looked kind of like Dead Space? I forget what it was called. I'll show a screenshot right now. This looked fascinating. If there's any game that makes me buy a PlayStation 5, it's gonna be this. Now, I'm not gonna do that, because I don't buy platforms just for one game, but just in a theoretical, hypothetical world, if there was one Sony exclusive to make me actually consider buying a PlayStation 5, it was this. This looks fascinating. I also love how you say there's no sequels to games we've been asking for. Literally 2 lines after you said no God of War release date, meaning God of War Ragnarok, the sequel to God of War. It sounds to me like you might just need a Snickers, but you might need a Snickers and a nap. Oh boy. I'm excited for Spider-Man. I'm gonna play the shit out of Spider-Man. Not to toot my own tutor, but I've been saying this game's been coming for a while. I'm not even gonna say that I am particularly smart for calling that. A lot of people were just taking the Nvidia leak a little too seriously, I think. Spider-Man wasn't in the Nvidia leak, but the Nvidia leak wasn't the end-all be-all of what was coming to PC. This is evidence right here that just because it wasn't in the Nvidia leak doesn't mean Sony's not thinking about it. So hopefully we get Bloodborne. Hopefully the port is really good. And yeah, thanks for the wedding gift, Sony. I'm gonna play the fuck out of this. Toodles.